All right. Hello, everyone. And thank you for tuning in again. Another episode of Grace for a Purpose podcast. And we are, the last couple of months, we've been discussing faith while waiting. Over the course of the next few weeks and months, you'll see where we're going to do a rebrand to Faith While Waiting podcast. So I'm super excited about that. Tonight, I have an amazing entrepreneur on with us. We get to learn a little bit more about her brands and her journey as an entrepreneur. We have Quetta B, the delivery girl, on with us. I'm super excited for you to share.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, background, and where you're from.
Absolutely. So my name is LaQuetta, born and raised in Wewoka, Oklahoma, small town, little bitty town out in the country. I was raised by my grandmother. She was a phenomenal woman. Her name was Leola Marie, very inspirational. She took me under her wing after I was separated from my parents at a young age. Um, you know, Grew up there in Oklahoma. After I graduated high school, went off to the military, and after the military, realized I kind of didn't like being told what to do that much. Um, and ever since I got out of the military, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've done multiple things. So yeah, that's what I do now. I've moved into working exclusively with Black business owners, and it's been really good. It's been really good.
Okay, so you grew up in Oklahoma. So where are you located now?
Now I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
very different from a small town. How do you like it here?
I love it. The crazy thing is, this is my third time living in Atlanta.
Okay,
The two times before, I was young, couldn't do it.
okay,
You couldn't do it. It wasn't wise. But when I got grown a little bit, got a little bit more mature, I said,
right.
especially with the population that I work with, I said Atlanta would be a great place. And when the pandemic happened, I know a lot of us were forced into having to adjust and adapt.
That's
And I was like, well, I'm going to do the same thing. I had a nonprofit in Oklahoma. I was the founder and executive director of a nonprofit there working with low income families with youth.
okay,
We were conducting an after school program. And when COVID happened, we had to shut down. And it was like, okay, God, what's next?
right.
What's next? So, yeah.
Okay, and that's one thing I can say that as an entrepreneur, COVID kind of forced us to learn how to
Yeah.
pivot quick,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have to be quick on your feet. So,
Yeah.
can you share your personal experience about how faith has played a role in your entrepreneurial journey, particularly in the moments of waiting and uncertainty that comes with owning a business?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's a great question. Man, where do I start? First of all, to unpack that. But I think the biggest thing that the challenges that I've faced, right? I believe that God has given me a vision, right?
Okay.
And that vision surpasses right now what's happening in the next 30 days. That vision is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 years down the line. Um, and the difficulty is always having to remind myself and be conscious that, in executing a God-given vision, we still have to take those bite-sized pieces.
Listen.
Otherwise it becomes so overwhelming. I'm trying to tell you, you start trying to do what's supposed to happen in year 20 in year 2, and you've already set yourself up for
Right.
disaster. And so that's something that I'll honestly say that I probably struggle with the most, is
Okay.
having to stay in step in my faith and being able
Right.
to take a pulse on where exactly am I right now in my business. That's very,
Okay.
very important. Always being sensitive to where you are in your entrepreneurial journey and what you have the capacity to manage.
Right.
And so along the lines of that, um, my faith, has really anchored me in knowing that I've been called to do this thing right now in this season, in this world.
Right.
Um, but I have to be patient, knowing that I may not see the fullness of it right now in year 3. But if
Right.
I keep at it and I'm persistent in year 20, it's going to be a thing that it'll be like, man, look at what God did. Do you hear me?
Listen.
Do you hear
Right.
me? What he did for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how, you know, Yeah.
That's amazing. I love the way that you broke that down, right? Because,
Thank you.
God creates us for a purpose, right? And not
Absolutely.
just for us. So the things that we're working towards, we may not even be able to see the fullness of where it will be generations down the line if we just
Absolutely.
stay focused and trust the journey while we're going through those waiting seasons. So definitely
Absolutely.
understanding the season that you're in, you can use that in life, not just in business, right? Just being sensitive
Absolutely.
to the season that you're in. It's
And
important.
that's and I'll say that too. That's really what I do. Like, even, I was listening to a message in church last week, and I don't, when I hear a word from the Lord or from the scripture, um, to me, he always gives it to me in two or three different ways.
Okay.
A way to apply it to my business, a
Right.
way to apply it to my finances. I mean, but that's just what the word is, right?
Right. Right.
It's the truth. And
Yeah.
so it's applicable in all
Yes.
circumstances. And so, yeah, just tangible things that you can pull from the scripture and
Right.
apply to your business. And they're so beneficial and rewarding if you apply them and you're effectively applying them. Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Exactly. Yes. And so we both know that being an entrepreneur, it means that you take risk, right? So
Absolutely.
how has your faith influenced your willingness to take calculated risk in growing your business?
Absolutely. Here's the thing about being an entrepreneur, and I've heard it said, and a lot of people may disagree, but the fact of the matter is, I strongly believe that we have to follow our gut, right?
Right.
And I don't think that our gut is just a gut. I believe that my gut is the Holy Spirit, right? Is discernment.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, a realization that I've recently come to, and God has been working with me on, is that this vision it's not mine. Like,
Oh,
it's mine, but it doesn't belong to me. So
yes.
whatever changes need to be made um, are inspired by the Holy Spirit to put me back on the correct path.
Right.
Because I'm still human.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you tonight about some decisions I've made that had it not been,
Listen,
okay,
for the grace.
okay,
Whew.
okay, would have took me under.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, the vision isn't mine. It's
Right.
mine to steward and to manage for this time. Because the fact of the matter is, I believe that because of the vision, God is going to bring along a young somebody, okay, who after
Right.
I've gone, they're going to replace me. Okay, and
Right.
that same faith, there's going to have to be a likeness, a kindredness between us, right? Because that's just the way that God works.
Right.
It's just the
Exactly.
way that He works.
He's so ahead of us. And our purpose is not just for us. So that vision
Absolutely.
that purpose that he created us for, that vision that he provided you with is to open doors for other people.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned that you work with African American people. So tell us a little bit more about your brand and your business.
Yeah. So I really have two businesses, right? But tonight I want to talk a lot more about the Black and Business Shopping Network. The first business is a brand marketing agency. It's called the Black Resume, and we've created a comprehensive marketing system for Black business professionals.
Okay.
So if they come to us and inquire with us, they're able to get comprehensive solutions: branding, marketing, photography, design, print, all of those things, and we manage their account and we work with them and nurture their growth, right? That's really what that comprehensive approach is about, so that you
Okay.
don't have to leave us and go to Fiverr and go to,
Right.
you hear me? You get everything that you need, and you have a dedicated team that is interested in seeing your brand grow,
Okay.
right? So that's the Black Resume. Black and Business Shopping Network is the sister company, and they work in tandem. They really
Okay.
do, because generally we work with entry level entrepreneurs and provide those marketing services. And then for those product based brands and for service based brands, but it's more beneficial for product based brands. For those product based brands, we put them into a continuation service, which is the Black and Business Shopping Network.
Okay.
And that allows them to participate in our multi-channel selling platform, so they can sell their products to a global audience on live video broadcasts, online marketplace, and in our direct mail catalog. So we're
Okay.
launching that in November 17th, actually. That's my
Okay.
birthday.
Coming up soon, right before Black Friday. So
Yes, come on, Black Friday sale. Come on,
yes.
Christmas holiday event. You're on to something here.
Yes, yes. So you have your two businesses that
Mhm.
you're operating now, right?
Absolutely.
So have you faced any periods of waiting that you can share with us, waiting for, that breakthrough as being a business owner? How did you maintain faith and motivation during those periods of waiting?
Absolutely. That's a great question. You know, can I just be real here?
Yes, please.
Okay. Uh, Man, I'm coming out of a season. We just really rebranded the Black Resume and Black in
Okay.
Business. I started the Black Resume about 3 years ago when COVID hit,
Right.
and I just started out with website design. I wasn't really into brand marketing at the time.
Okay.
That just kind of grew as the vision grew, right?
Okay.
But I'll tell you, for a period there, I kept getting terrible clients. I mean, I was batting 1,000. They were just coming and coming and coming, and I was having such a difficult time, and I did not realize in those moments. I got it after, right?
Okay.
Got it after, but in those moments, I wish I had realized that those were opportunities for me
Yeah.
to develop my business acumen,
Right. Right.
because what I neglected then, I had to confront later.
Right.
I
Listen,
had to confront later.
life.
Mhm. Had to confront later. And so those events kind of came full circle. And I really
Hmm.
had to depend on the Lord to help me to navigate them, because the thing,
Right.
I love people, but you ain't gonna talk to me crazy now. That's where I draw the line, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But see, I had to learn, I had to develop patience.
Hmm.
I had to develop perseverance, because when they was acting crazy, I was like, Lord, get somebody else to do it.
Yes.
Okay, get somebody else to do it. So there were a lot of skills that I learned in those seasons that really I didn't even know were being. And I'll tell you the other one: hospitality.
Right. That's
That is the
important.
most Hospitality is the most important skill, I
Yes.
think, that entrepreneurs have to develop.
Right.
Have to develop hospitality. You know, People say I'm extra. You come into my office, you sit down with me, you have a cup of coffee, we have a conversation. I give you an agenda for what we're going to discuss, or you know what I mean. There's a protocol. There's a
Right. Right.
consistency, right? Setting you up for what you should expect. I make you feel welcome from the moment that we initiate contact. I make you feel welcome here, right? Because
Right.
that is my job as the steward. You don't just steward money, you steward
Right.
people. And
People.
and
Exactly.
we have a team of 12 Black business owners who work with us to help us carry out our mission on
Okay.
both businesses. So we
Okay.
have Black business owners who are graphic designers, videographers, photographers, um, brand marketing specialists. We actually
Okay.
have a team of brand ambassadors, so that when business owners are like, hey, we're ready to move into the next level, we start running ads for them, they can have a dedicated brand ambassador to represent their brand for consistency, to build,
Right.
brand awareness with their audiences. So we've really created something that we're proud of, and we're proud to serve it to Black business professionals, because we know what the struggle is. We
Right.
know what it is.
You went through it. You went
Yeah,
through the struggle. So now you're
yeah,
able to help people hopefully avoid some of those same pitfalls that you may have
absolutely.
fallen into. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, and you spoke about, those clients who may not be the best clients. So I'm not sure
Terrible.
if this
I'm going to
if
say
this
it.
next question is maybe in the same sense. Could you describe a specific instance where your faith was tested as an entrepreneur, and how did you navigate through that?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So when I decided to rebrand, it was because I had a terrible client, and I'll just say it.
Okay.
Okay, it was a terrible client. Um, I took the project on. The first project I performed. I had two orders from this client. I took the first project on. He was a referral from a very, very dear friend of mine, who I met while I was in the military, and long story short, the client was dishonest, right? And told my friend some things that were completely untrue. And it cost me my friendship.
Oh,
It
wow.
cost me my friendship. And this is a friendship that I had been nurturing and engaging for many years. This is a friendship that meant a lot to me. And we fell out about it. And at that point, I said, too, no more business with friends.
Yep.
That's it. That was the only experience that I needed to teach me how I can't do
Those
it.
boundaries you have
Yeah,
to.
I can't. It was such a painful season, and I ended up, the client did a charge back and all kinds of other stuff. This was like a almost $700 order, and I was
Right.
just in my infancy at the time.
Right.
So it hit your girl in the side.
Right.
It
Right.
almost took me out of here. Okay. But it was a very, very tough situation to get through, and I think what a lot of it is, when you are an individual who has vision,
Yeah.
it's not uncommon that you don't mesh well with those who don't.
Yes.
And when I look back at it, I always, even if I didn't see where I would be right now today, I always knew that I was going to be greater in my future than I was
Yes.
then. I
Yes.
knew it was coming. And not a lot of entrepreneurs can actually say that. They get into business and they're like, let me sell these t-shirts. They don't care how it
Right.
looks. They don't care how it's presented.
Right.
They're just like, I'm just trying to make some money. Well, see, here's the thing. As a visionary, money is not my objective.
Right.
That's not my objective,
Yes.
because I already know for where God is going to take me, the money's going to
He
come.
sustains you, right?
So I don't even have to worry about the money, you know. But in that situation, I felt like I had just really picked up, some stamina in the brand, and it really took a lot out of me. It did. I went through a little depression there for a little bit, because this is one of my close. Like, if I had 5 friends, this is one of those 5.
Okay.
You see what
Okay.
I'm saying? So it
Right.
cut
Right.
me deep. It really did cut me deep. But my, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take a little bit of truth from what this client said. I
Right.
took a little bit of the truth from what that client said, and I applied it, and it changed my entire perspective. And it kicked me into a rebrand that really has, you might as well call me a rocket, honey.
Yes. Come on.
You might as well. So, yeah,
Okay. Uncomfortable
yeah,
seasons, they shift
yeah,
us to where our purpose will prosper,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we
Yep.
we have to go through those uncomfortable seasons, but we don't. It doesn't feel good, but I'm
Yeah,
sure it didn't feel good when Jesus had to be nailed to the cross, right?
not
So
at all.
when you have purpose, but even in those seasons where you may feel like, okay, this is a lonely, depressing season, it's comforting to know that we still have the love of God, and we can
Right.
still learn things in those seasons if
Mm-hmm.
you choose to. If you choose to
Right.
learn growth in those seasons.
Absolutely. You gotta want to grow.
Yes,
Gotta want to grow.
definitely. So, in what ways does your faith impact your decision making process when it comes to business opportunities, partnerships, clients now, in those different pivots when it comes to business?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is uh discernment.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The discernment. That's starting with number one.
Yes.
But two, considering these things in prayer now. There was a while back, there was a client that I wanted to work with, and this particular client was really kind of dragging their feet,
Okay.
just kind of taking their time. And we kind of started to get busier, so it was kind of like, okay, you need to make a decision,
What you
right?
gonna
Like,
do?
yeah, what are you going to do now? You know
Right.
what I mean? And we ended up not going through with the deal. But the thing about it is, I am so glad, because the Holy Spirit in that time, really, when I look back at it, the
Hmm.
Holy Spirit threw up all kinds of red flags,
Yes.
and I would say something like, this is odd, but okay. You know what I mean? Because sometimes inexperience will make you naive, and that's
Yeah.
okay, because you got to get it, right?
Right.
You
Just
got
trying
to
to
get the
grow.
lesson,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
nonetheless, it was one of those things where it was challenging, because it was like, you know what? Do I move forward? And I was still willing to move forward
Right.
despite all of the things.
Right. Right.
But we didn't end up moving forward. And, looking back at it, I am so glad. I'm
Yes.
so glad that God spared me
Yes.
from taking on a client that would have really been come on, headache, a
Yeah.
headache. You
Right.
just gotta say it, because I can be a headache.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's just the reality of it. But
Right.
I'm really glad that God spared me in that moment and I didn't take on that client. And the funny thing about that particular client, my marketing specialist, she's amazing. Clarity Marketing. She's out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
Phenomenal young lady. And I asked her to join me on this particular project, and she said no.
Okay.
hmm She did. She told me no. And when someone tells you no, they don't want to do something, you just respect it, right?
Right.
But
Right.
honestly, I've looked back at it and been like, I should have took a hint from her.
Right.
I should have took a hint from her. So now I'm more attentive. I listen more to my team. Before I make a decision, I speak to my team. Hey, how does this look? What do you think about this? I'm thinking this. I really do depend on them to help me. The rebrand and everything didn't really kick off until I started being more willing to share the vision.
You listen. Right. That's important.
That's when things started to
Yes.
change.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It really, really did start to change once I realized this is not mine. I am
Right.
not the possessor of this vision. And once I started to share it, and then that opened up the door for them to give back with
Right.
their gifts.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
I like that. I like the
Yeah.
mindset that you have, because the vision is not yours, first of all. So recognizing that when we give the ownership back to the person who first gave us the vision,
Mhm.
then we see that we have to connect with like-minded people who can help us to push that vision further.
Yeah,
Your
absolutely.
network is your net worth, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. I love this
Absolutely.
conversation.
Yeah, me too. I'm having a good time.
Yes, yes. So, how do you strike a balance between having faith in your vision and staying open to adjustments or changes in your journey?
Yeah, well, again, it's not mine. And if you really possess the mentality that it's not yours,
Right,
then it's easy to be flexible. It's
right,
easy to be molded because I know what the ultimate goal is, right? Just like for a Christian, the ultimate goal is to be more like Jesus, right?
right,
God
right,
has given me an idea of what it is that He desires for me to build in this thing, right? And understanding that He's the manufacturer of it now. When it's time to shift, you just shift.
right. Yes,
I once had a gentleman tell me, he said, LaQuetta, never stay married to a bad idea. Same.
yes,
Never stay married to a bad idea.
yes.
So if I have an idea that maybe the pieces aren't working together, maybe
Mm,
my team disagrees with, you know, before we rebranded, before we relaunched, I had a totally different idea. And it wasn't until I talked to my team and they were like,
no.
and I was like, what do you mean? I've been doing this for a week.
Mm,
you know, that ain't it. That
okay.
ain't it. And I trust that my team also hears from God.
Yes, that's important.
Now, now, let me say this. Let me say this, because I don't want to be misleading. I work with I work with unsaved people. Okay. And so when I say I trust that my team hears from God, there are people on my team that are Christians and they down in it. Okay. They down with it. So I trust that they hear from God and I lean and depend on them and myself
Right,
matching in that space.
right,
Um, but it's crazy when God assigns even an unsaved person to a saved woman's
right.
vision. Okay. So I can't I can't discredit that. You know what I mean? I take even their opinions into high consideration.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we all just, it's really beautiful. Honestly, I could go on and on about it. It's really, really beautiful how God brought together 12 individuals, 12 different backgrounds, though none of us know each other. And the crazy thing is, I met most of them as easy as just walking down the street.
Yeah. Like minds. It can happen that way too when you're open to, like you said, the vision is not mine. If you're open to that, God does a thing well, and he
Hmm.
he knows what he's doing. So that's why we have to, first of all, take our vision and our plan to him and let him direct us and lead us. And because our visions are small compared to the
Yeah,
grand vision that he has.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so these 12 people that you work with, so they are all over the US. Tell us a little bit about that.
Most of them are here in Atlanta. I
Okay.
have I have one in Oklahoma, one in Texas, and then one in South Carolina. But everybody else is here in Atlanta. So, we get together, we go get tacos, they come to the office, we hang out, we really, really get along really well. And everybody, the thing about working with a team like this, you know, everybody respects everybody.
Right.
We respect each other's talent and craft and lane.
That's
Everybody's got a
important.
lane. Everybody's got
Yeah.
a lane. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna jump in and start telling the designer how to design
Right, exactly.
because that's not my lane.
Right.
And so I think because we all have so much respect for one another, it really makes it easier for us. And they all trust me. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they
Right.
all trust me.
Yeah. And you can grow faster with the right people, right? It's only so
Absolutely.
much that you can do yourself, but when
By
you have
yourself.
the right people around you, you can go so much further, especially like you
Absolutely.
said, when everybody respects the lane that they're in and you're pouring into each other. So that's
Absolutely.
so tell us, the viewers, any entrepreneurs, business owners who may be on here, how can we connect with you for your services and learn more about the platform that you have for business owners?
Absolutely. So the Black Resumes website is up. You can visit theBlackResume.com. It'll tell you more about the services that we offer. Request a quote. You'll get to schedule an appointment with me. We can sit down, talk about it, whatever your brand marketing needs are. Um, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We just recently created a TikTok too. Um, oh, girl, I came out here. These mosquitoes has turned me up. Okay.
It's still that time of year for the mosquitoes, right?
Ooh, they got me. But yeah, the Black Resume, TheBlackResume.com is our website. You can, check out our website, learn more about us, learn more about the company. And blackandbusiness.shop. You can visit blackandbusiness.shop for the Black and Business Shopping Network. You know, customers, potential customers, those who are interested in shopping with Black owned brands, desirable product-based Black owned brands. Listen, we've got, oh man, matter of fact, hold on, people, hold on. I've got to show you. Let me grab. Okay, so the company 2255 Custom Hats that created this beautiful piece, this
Nice.
custom fedora, is going to be one of the featured brands in the shopping network for our grand opening week. We're opening November 17th.
Okay.
And so, you'll get to tune in to a live interview with the owner of that brand. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about his company, and he's going to bring some hats, and you guys can purchase the hats on the live. So
Nice.
it's really just designed to bring a personalized shopping experience, right? Because when I started Black in Business, it was a docu-series. Me and an old friend of mine were doing this docu-series, and we were partnering with local Atlanta businesses that were allowing us to utilize their space to record the docu-series.
Okay.
I'll say maybe 8 episodes in to the docu-series, I just honestly, I just lost all the passion for it.
Oh wow.
It just left. Like I had nothing else to give it.
Really?
Nothing. I just had nothing else to give it. And so I didn't know what the problem was. And then it dawned on me, like, and this ain't knocking nobody's hustle. Please understand. It dawned on me, for me,
Right.
um, telling our stories is fantastic and it brings us a lot of exposure. But I want to see us make some money.
Listen. Yes.
I want to see us make some
Right.
money.
Right.
Okay. And then I started thinking, okay, well, what do you do with that? You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
And God just started to give me different ideas. I started watching different shows on TV and, hearing different things on podcasts and, all kinds of other stuff. And then I was like, oh, there's been similar models that have worked effectively. So
Mm-hmm.
what didn't they do that we can do to make us better? See, I don't mind learning from my competitors.
Yeah. That's
I
how you
don't
grow, right? That's how
I
you
don't mind you laying the foundation for me.
right.
I'm going to come in, I'm going to see what I can streamline or what I can optimize and make better and go on about my business. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so once I got that bright idea, I was like, man, we could turn this whole thing into a shopping network full of desirable Black owned
Yes.
brands, custom fedoras, men's clothing, cologne, accessories, women's clothing, cologne, accessories, Black owned food and beverage. We've got seasoning salts, barbecue sauces, chips, cookies, you name it. uh, PG-13, you name it.
Okay.
And we're gonna do our best to sell it. And yeah. So I'm
Okay.
excited. I am
Yes.
excited. Yeah.
Awesome. So I work with a lot of authors. So
Uh-huh.
this platform, do you think that this would be beneficial for authors to plug in with this platform to start selling their books?
Absolutely. It would be a fantastic platform. The thing about it is, we want to be able to offer a diverse range of products. You
Okay.
know what I mean? So when you come on the site, it's not like you're just getting the same thing or anything like that. We want to offer a range of products. So,
Okay.
children's books, adult books, fiction, nonfiction. We read,
Right. We do.
you know what I mean? Plants.
And we write.
You see what I'm saying? Like there's so
Yeah.
many. So there's not, when people ask me, I've been asked, what kinds of products don't you sell? Right. And there are some prohibited items, right?
Right.
Anything that would be uh like a medical, the word is
Sure.
escaping me right now, but like uh God, what is it called? It's a specific,
Prescriptions or
not prescriptions. They make these claims. They make like dietary claims, things
okay.
that make dietary claims.
Okay.
Oh, you're guaranteed to lose 50
Okay.
pounds. You take this. We ain't gonna get into all of
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? And adult items.
Sure.
We don't do that.
Sure.
Right now, because let me mind my business. But uh this is a PG-13 site
Oh,
that we have for Black and Business Shopping Network. And yeah, just a diverse range of products. Of course, you guys could release your books on the platform. In fact, I encourage it. I would love that. I would love to have more authors on the platform, and perhaps you're an up and coming author and you're like, man, I'm just getting ready to write my first book, and you
right.
need, you know, editing or design or any of that stuff, then we can work with you on the Black resume side. That's
Yeah.
the reason it was built. It was built so that once we
Okay.
start to work with you, we can kind of keep you in with us
Right.
and
Right.
work with you and nurture your brand and help you grow that brand awareness. So whether you're just in the beginning stages or whether you're more advanced and
Right.
seasoned, we capture business owners at any
Okay.
point in their entrepreneurial journey. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So authors, this is a
Hmm.
great platform. If you're always looking for a different way to sell your books, this is another way
Yes,
to get your book out there.
absolutely.
So
And if
yes, ma'am.
And they can go to our site right now. We have our demo site up. Once it gets closer
Okay.
to launch for Black in Business, then we'll start to advertise and promote the products that'll be released on the grand opening, right?
Okay.
But for right now, we have a demo site up, and that demo site will also show, the different kinds of products that we're interested
Okay.
in, selling through the platform. So yeah.
Definitely. We want to make sure that we plug the website links in the comments so you can
Yes,
go
yes,
back
yes.
if you're catching the replay to check out the website. So
Yes.
tell us, how can we connect with you on social media, and stay tuned for all the amazing things that you have to come right now, 10 years down the
Yeah.
line, because I
Yeah.
know that you are here to deliver. So we
Come
need to
on.
stay connected with
Black owned brands delivered, honey. That's what's being delivered is the
yes.
brands. Yeah, 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 yeah. So on all of my platforms, I'm at I am the delivery girl on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Yeah. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at I am the delivery girl because like I said, black owned brands delivered.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, you can connect with me there. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I definitely appreciate the time that you've taken out tonight to join. This has been a great conversation. I picked up so
Thank you.
many gems from you. So I
Thank you.
always like to end the show with having my guests to leave us with a motivational word, about 35 to 45 seconds. What is it that
Mm.
you would tell someone who is in a season of waiting to encourage them?
Now, see, you didn't tell me this.
I
Uh,
like to throw it in there.
okay, so let me think. Give me just a second to ponder what I would tell an entrepreneur that's waiting.
Yes.
Keep waiting. That's what I would say. I would say keep waiting. Because here's what I've learned about waiting. It keeps me steady. I'm
Yes.
not out here making haphazard decisions about my business because the circumstances have changed. I'm waiting. And waiting is a test of our faithfulness.
Yes.
It's a test of our faithfulness. You know, will I wait on God to deliver what He said He's going to give to me? Or am I going to jump ahead to season 20? Because all that's going to do is cause more problems for me. I would say keep waiting. Ain't nothing wrong with having to wait a little while.
Listen, I love that. And that's the show. That's how
That's
we
the show.
Thank you so much for taking
Thank
the time
you.
out. I can't wait to connect with you again and have more
Yes.
fun and talk more about the journey that you are
Yes.
on. I'm super excited to be connected with you. Thank you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. Make sure that you go and you follow our amazing guest on social media. Check out
Yes.
her brands. If you're in need of any marketing services, make sure you reach out.
Yes.
Like I said, she is here to deliver.
Yes.
Make sure that you share this with everybody. Make sure
Yeah.
that you leave us some comments, reviews, share, subscribe to the podcast, and stay tuned for our rebrand. We may be working
Yes.
with the delivery girl to get that done. So, soon.
I like
Thank
the
you so
sound of
much.
that.
Y'all have a good night.
And thank you, Juanita. I appreciate your time and your platform. And thank you everyone for
Yes.
tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.